So you're starting a nonprofit. That's amazing. But there's this one question that pops up for pretty much every founder, and it can cause a ton of stress. Today, we're going to clear the air on that very question. You've poured everything into this mission, right? Your time, your energy, maybe even your own money. But at the end of the day, you've still got to live. So can you actually draw a salary from the nonprofit you created? The short answer is yes, absolutely. But, and this is a really big but, you have to do it by the book. Okay, so let's get right into it. This whole thing, which seems super complicated, really just boils down to one single golden rule from the IRS. If you get this one idea, you're going to be just fine. And here it is, the big distinction. On one side, you have compensation for services. That's you getting paid a fair wage for the actual job you're doing, as the executive director, the program manager, whatever your role is. That is totally 100% okay. But on the other side, you have private benefit. Now that's treating the nonprofit's bank account like your own personal piggy bank. Taking money just because you're the founder? That's a huge no. The fancy IRS term for this is private inurement. It sounds a little intimidating, I know, but all it really means is that an insider, like you, the founder, is getting a benefit from the nonprofit's money that goes way beyond what's considered fair pay for the work you're doing. So the main takeaway is this: you're an employee, not an owner who gets to take home the profits. So if you can get paid, the next question is pretty obvious. How much? This is where we get into the idea of reasonable compensation. And believe me, it's not a number you just dream up. There's a real process to this. Reasonable compensation has a very specific meaning. It's basically the market rate. It's what another organization, one that's similar in size, in budget, and in your same city or region, would pay someone else to do the exact same job. It's not about what you feel you're worth. It's about what the market says the job is worth. It's objective. So where do you find this market rate? Well, you've got to do a little homework. You can check out nonprofit salary surveys. Those are fantastic. You can also look up the public tax forms, the Form 990s, of nonprofits that are like yours and see what they're paying their leaders. You can even just look at job postings for similar roles. It all helps build your case. And here's what that research looks like in the real world. If you're running a local food pantry with a $250,000 budget, you can see that the justifiable salary is going to be worlds apart from a regional advocacy group that's working with $1 million. This is exactly the kind of concrete data your board needs to see to make a smart decision. Now, once you have that research, you can use it to build a protective shield around your organization. See, the IRS gets that this is tricky, so they've actually laid out a 3-step process. It's called a safe harbor test that basically gives you a thumbs up for being reasonable if you follow it. And here are those 3 simple steps. Step 1, the decision has to be made by an independent board. That means people who aren't related to you and who don't have a financial stake in the outcome. Step 2, that board has to use the salary research we just talked about to make their decision. And step 3, they have to write it all down in the board meeting minutes as soon as the decision is made. Not next month, not next year, right then. And why is this so incredibly important? Because when you follow those 3 steps, the whole game changes. The burden of proof flips. Suddenly, it's not on you to prove your salary is reasonable, it's on the IRS to prove that it's unreasonable. That is a huge, massive deal. It's your compliance arbor. Okay, so what if you don't follow the steps? What if the board just picks a number they like and it's way too high? Well, that's when things can get pretty serious. First off, you personally have to pay back every single penny of the excess amount, plus interest. Ouch. On top of that, you get slapped with a 25% tax on that amount. And it's not just you, the board members who knowingly approved the salary can be personally fined too. And in the absolute worst case scenario, the whole nonprofit could lose its tax-exempt status. It's just not worth the risk. So with those kinds of penalties on the line, this next part is maybe the most important thing to remember. In the world of compliance and good governance, there's a simple saying: if it's not documented, it didn't happen. You absolutely need 2 key documents. First, a written employment agreement. This clearly lays out your salary, your duties, your hours, all of it. Second, you need those super detailed board minutes that show exactly how the decision was made, who was there, what data they looked at, and how they voted. That's your proof. All right, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's wrap this all up and boil it down to a simple final checklist that you can take with you on your journey.
Here we go, your checklist. Make sure your board is independent. Do your salary homework before you decide anything. Have only the independent directors vote on it. And this is critical. You must leave the room when they discuss and vote on your pay. Get everything, and I mean everything, in writing. And last but not least, always remember that your salary is going to be public information on your tax forms for anyone to see.
So, can you pay yourself? Yes, you can, and you should, if you want the organization to last. Because this isn't about getting rich. It's about creating a sustainable structure that allows passionate leaders, people just like you, to dedicate their lives to the mission. Getting compensation right isn't just about following the rules. It's about making sure your world-changing idea can survive and thrive for years to come.